Kara is very tired, but today is the day we need to help move her studio stuff from the studio to our home. So if Kara looks like a lifeless rubbery land squid, that's because she's rather tired. So today we are moving Kara's art stuff out of Kara's Colorwolf space. Colorwolf has been to her a very important part of her figuring out how to be an artist, and has provided her a space that she could grow and really just start making art. Recently, however, as she and I have been trying to find ways to get our work more online, get more people seeing it, she hasn't been going nearly as often. And it's around this time that they decided, not because of her, not for totally unrelated reasons, that they're going to be shutting down Colorwolf as a physical space, but remain as a entity that exists like as a collective artist grouping. This news was very upsetting for her. However, after some serious consideration and a couple of talks, found out this is probably a good thing for us, as what we're trying to do now involves more with getting online on the internet and putting our work out there and starting online stores and being able to do what she wants to do and what I want to do full time. So this is kind of like a bittersweet experience. Very excited about the future, but memories. Kara keeps distracting me from my work, so I've taken certain measures to prevent future distractions. Now, I know everybody has different experiences, but for me, Cyberpunk really started with Ghost in the Shell. I know a lot of other people think about Cyberpunk, they think of things like Neuromancer or Blade Runner, but for me, it was Ghost in the Shell. During my first viewing, I didn't know any of the fancy cinematography that went into the movie. I didn't understand the scene-to-scene transitions. I just thought that they were beautiful to look at. But what I did understand is the overall plot of the mind-body divide, having a ghost separate from a shell. I love that they used ghost and shell to define this struggle with identity. It's nice to have your consciousness talked about, but separate from all the religious connotations that come with the word soul. And where this Go game is just like a puzzle game based on Deus Ex, it of course reminds me of the actual Deus Ex, which got me downloading and installing the new one, which then led me back to Ghost in the Shell Arise, which then led me back to Ghost in the Shell. And I think Ghost in the Shell resonates so strong with me right now, because both Kara and I are in a time where our identities are changing, where we are trying to define ourselves as something that we think is better than what we currently are. And it all reminded me very strongly of this scene in the movie.
Redefining my identity. I want to guarantee that I can still be myself.
There isn't one. Why would you wish to? All things change in a dynamic environment.
This has always been a very interesting scene to me for a variety of reasons, but one, because he's got just such a stellar point. Why would you want to remain the same? I mean, when you really think about it, you've never remained the same. You just seem like you're the same because of very slow change. I'm sure you could look at any period in your life and then compare it to the current period you're in and be able to say, oh, this is a big difference from then. And change in a dynamic environment is something that you want. I mean, you don't want to be the same person you are today that you are tomorrow. That wouldn't be interesting. It would be just more the same. I really don't have more to say on the matter other than I totally would have merged with Puppet Master too. And if that doesn't make sense to you, then you owe it to yourself to go watch Ghost in the Shell, as it is not only a crowning moment in anime cinema, but like a cyberpunk defining movie. And on top of all that, even if you don't care for any of that, it's just such wonderful cinematography and such an encompassing experience that if you don't put yourself through it, that sounds detrimental, like it's going to be bad. If you don't like enjoy it, no, look, just go watch the movie.